It's good to see my friend Congressman Watt. We've worked together on so many things, from privacy issues to the Voting Rights Act, and I appreciate that collaboration. I should tell Chairman Franken, and I thank him for his responsible leadership he's done on this issue of privacy. We Vermonters come about it naturally. I see a smile from a friend of mine in the audience who probably has heard this story more than once, but one of the few things I've ever saved written about me in the press and actually framed it was a sidebar to a New York Times profile. Now, to put this in perspective, you have to understand my wife and I live in an old farmhouse in Vermont on a dirt road. We celebrated well, actually had part of our honeymoon there nearly 50 years ago this summer. And hundreds of acres of land and fields and all that have been hayed and watched over by an adjoining farmer's family from the time I was a teenager. And they've known me since then. So the whole story goes like this. A Saturday morning, reporter in an out-of-state car sees this farmer sitting on the porch, asks, "Senator Leahy live up this road?" He said, "Are you a relative of his?" He said, "No, I'm not." "Are you a friend of his?" "No, not really." "He expecting you?" "No, never heard of him." Now we like our privacy in Vermont. And in the digital age, ensuring the right to privacy is critical. But I think it becomes ever more difficult as our government and businesses collect and store and mine and use our most sensitive personal information for their own purposes, not ours, but theirs. Whether it's sensitive medical records, private financial information, personal thoughts and feelings. I've worked, as so many others on this committee have, to ensure that Americans' privacy rights are respected. We talked about the Video Privacy Protection Act from '88. When I introduced the bill, I said it was intended to make all of us a little freer to watch what we choose without public scrutiny. More recently, I've worked to add protections for library and bookseller records in Section 215 of the USA Patriot Act. Now, it's true that technology has changed. The chairman mentioned what Justice Alito said. But I think we should all agree that we have to be faithful to our fundamental right to privacy and freedom. Today, the social networking and video streaming, the cloud, mobile apps, other new technologies, they've revolutionized the availability of Americans' information. But they're also outpacing our privacy laws. That's one of the things we have to think about. So I continue to push to enact the Personal Data Privacy and Security Act, to create a nationwide data breach notification standard, want to better combat cybercrime. That's why I proposed a comprehensive review and update of the Electronic Communications Privacy Act. Recently, some companies that dominate various aspects of cyberspace have announced that they want to simplify matters so they can more easily track Americans' activities across the board, obviously to their own financial benefit. But I worry that sometimes what is simpler for corporate purposes is not better for consumers. It might be simpler for some if we had no privacy protections, if we had no antitrust protections, if we had no consumer protections. It'd be simpler for some, but it certainly wouldn't be better for Americans. And I worry about a loss of privacy because of the claimed benefit of simplicity. Privacy advocates, elected representatives from both sides of the aisle have serious concerns, serious questions. We're looking for information and answers. When dominant corporate interests entice a checkoff in order to receive what may seem like a fun new app or service, they may not be presenting a realistic and informed choice to consumers. A one-time checkoff that has the effect of an all-time surrender of privacy doesn't seem like the best course for consumers. And I worry that the availability of vast stores of information via corporate data banks also makes this readily available to the government, which has almost unfettered power to obtain information with an administrative subpoena, so-called national security letters. So I think we need to have comprehensive reform. Now, Representative Mel Waters is a thoughtful leader in these issues, and it's good that he's here. And I'm hearing from many, as it is from those from corporate America, but I'm hearing from many privacy advocates who have expressed concern about the privacy implications of the House-passed proposal. The key concern is that a one-time checkoff of consent to disclose and mine and sell, and share information does not adequately protect the privacy of consumers. The House proposal updating the law does not doesn't cover streaming and cloud computing to the extent I'd like. Do we need to move forward? Comprehensive review and update Electronic Communications Privacy Act, and also decide how best to update the Video Privacy Protection Act. So I just want to thank the chairman for doing this. But I just want to stress again, this Vermonter likes his privacy. And I especially don't like it when somebody says, we're just going to make life simpler if we sell your privacy.